Hey everyone, I wanted to make a video related to kind of how acne has been throughout my transition. I'd gotten a few asks recently about how I've kind of dealt with it and kind of why it's so bad and stuff like that, so I figured I'd just address it in a video because that way I can explain it better. Don't mind the music, that's a person in another room playing piano. Hopefully it'll pass. If not, enjoy the background music. Firstly, I want to talk about why it's kind of this bad, because it's not because I haven't been taking care of my face. I really have. I've been trying to wash and stuff on a regular basis, and I use some acne wash when taking a shower too. I kind of attribute it to genetics, because both my sisters, when they were younger, they got really bad acne going through puberty. Same with my dad. So it's kind of something that just like runs in the family. When I went through my first puberty, I really, like, yes, I did get acne, but it wasn't nearly as bad as they had gotten in their teenage years. So I was like, yay, I'm done with the acne. I don't have to worry very much about it. Little did I know, it would come full force later on, and that it did. So it's almost as if nature was like, yes, we know that you are going to go through a second puberty, so we're going to hold off on the first one, but the second one is going to be a little worse. It happens. That's pretty much why I think why it's this bad, because I haven't really seen it this bad on a lot of other trans guys. At least a lot of the ones that I follow and like watch their videos and stuff. I would say for those of you who are worried about getting it this bad, it's probably not going to get this bad. I'm pretty sure it's just a me thing with genetics. I kind of want to talk about like what I've been prescribed and how it's worked and how it hasn't. This is how my acne looked before I started testosterone, just totally pre-T. The moment I was prescribed testosterone from my endocrinologist, I was also prescribed this stuff called Epiduo, which is a topical, use it like once a day, put it on your face after washing it, Adapalene, I can't pronounce words, and benzoyl peroxide. This is how it looked when I had started T and was on the topical. It did actually kind of work for me for a while, but that was because testosterone hadn't had its full effect on me yet with using topical of that and not doing injections yet, and so that kind of kept up with my acne a little bit. Like, yeah, sure, I had some spots of acne, but it kept it down pretty well. And this is how my acne started looking when testosterone started working better on injections and stuff. So then I was prescribed this stuff called doxycycline hyclate, 100 milligrams, and I took a capsule by mouth 2 times a day. I was probably on this from the time frame of, I want to say like October, November of 2013. I kind of switched to a different medication probably spring of 2014. So if anyone wants to like stalk my archive of like what my acne looked like throughout that time, that's what this did. The thing about it was that you're supposed to take it on an empty stomach, and when I did that, it made me feel sick to my stomach, even to the point of like actually throwing up at some point. So that wasn't good. So I talked to my doctor and he said, yeah, you can just take it with food or something, just take it during your meals. So I did that, but that might have made it not work as well. So I'd advise to be kind of cautious with this one just because it did that to me, and it obviously wasn't a very pleasant thing. In the spring to maybe a little bit over the summer of 2014, I switched to another medication that I don't have with me right now. I don't remember the name of it. It didn't really work. It was another one like that where I had to take it twice a day orally. The reason I switched to it was because of the upset stomach thing that I was dealing with that medication, and just insurance covered it a little bit better, so I had to pay less for it. The thing about this medication and the one that I'm talking about now is I wasn't really consistent with taking them at any point while I was supposed to be taking them. So they didn't really do as good of a job as they could have been if I was taking them consistently. I think that was probably the biggest problem with this medication that I took during that time period, but like I can't be 100% positive of that. I just didn't really take it consistently at all. And then by the time this fall happened, in 2014, I was kind of just completely on and off with the medication. I was like, okay, should I take it? Is it going to make it better? Am I actually doing better without the medication? If I just keep washing my face really well, it'll do things. So I just stopped medication completely. Mostly because I kept forgetting to take it. And that was a very bad idea, because that's when my acne started to get really bad. Refer to this picture and that was kind of like the beginning of it. So this whole time frame, pretty recently, like last semester, where I had really bad acne, that was why it was so bad. And I was between medications, trying to figure out what to take, what was best to take. So by the time it started getting pretty bad in November, when I was doing the whole No Shave November thing, I talked to my doctor and I was like, yo, can you prescribe me like another medication? Because the one I had I didn't think was working. So he prescribed me this, which is minocycline, 50 milligrams per capsule. And I was supposed to take a capsule by mouth twice a day. And I started taking them, again, this was very irregular. I started taking it some of the time not. Which was a bad idea. And it turns out if you do that with medications, which I didn't know, I know now, you can kind of develop a resistance to it. So, I'm kind of hoping that didn't happen to me. Probably was really close to happening, but I ended up kind of like talking to my psychiatrist about it, and he was like, alright, like you need to take these on a regular basis so they do what they're supposed to do. So I did. I started taking it more regularly, but it still wasn't really doing enough. Over winter break, I talked to my doctor about it again, and he said, okay, let me prescribe you 2 times the amount of the capsules that you're taking, and 2 topical medications. So I said, okay, but because of me not staying in my dorm, being able to stay in my dorms, that's where my mail came to, I couldn't get the prescriptions until the beginning of pretty much the next semester. So I was like, alright, well, I guess for now I'll just take 2 times the amount of the medication I have right now, take 2 capsules when I'm supposed to be taking 1, because that is the prescription. That seemed to be working a little bit.